What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Whatnauts Captain's Log Halloween special. This is episode 284. My name is Kyle Springer. I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson, who's right now has her camera turned off to do a costume reveal.
You're not doing a reveal because you're using the same costume you wore on our last episode of the review show.
Correct.
But I have a new and original costume.
Yeah, so let's get to that, and then I can say what my costume is if you're only listening to this on the audio version. But yes,
They're a fun pair.
Well, Melissa,
all right,
I'll do like a little drum roll thing here. Camera's coming on, it's spinning. Wah! A mime.
Kyle, not just any mime.
The mime from the M&M's commercial. It's the birthday boy.
I am Jacques the mime from the M&M's commercial that would play every time we went to the movies this year.
Yeah. That's a great one.
We are here tonight, Slimer and Mimer, your two ghost hosts.
Slimer and Mimer, yeah. That works great. This is a blast. I always have so much fun on these Halloween episodes. This is so good.
I have a new roommate than I had this time last year, and there was so much I had to explain to her. Like, she asked if I wanted Raisin Canes for lunch, and I said, no, I have to eat McDonald's for dinner. It's for a podcast. I'll explain it later. And I'm like, hey, what time are you going to get in the bathroom to get ready before you go out to a party tonight? I have a lot of makeup I have to do. I'll explain later. So there's a lot of new lore. Maybe I introduce her to. Maybe she decides to never ask questions. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. Good stuff. Well, yeah, I am dressed as Slimer from the Ghostbusters. I almost was the Ecto one. Their car. They had the like inflatable car thing. And I thought, I've never seen anyone dress up as the car.
Mm-hmm.
But then I like sitting here at the podcast desk that I have. I was like, there's no way that I could be that thing. So Slimer it is. I got this big green onesie. His head, his eyes and teeth supposedly glow in the dark.
We'll turn the lights off.
So I haven't really set it up to glow. Like I haven't left him out under the light. Let me see if I can figure that stuff out. What happens if I open up this app and go to all of these? I hate actually looking at the smart apps for all my lights and stuff.
I can't. I hate looking at it. I have to look at it through fogged glass. Hurts to see.
Does that kind of almost?
You're darker. I don't know if it glows, but I think the dark lighting is fun and you should keep it for this episode.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll turn some of my lights down too. I've got colored lights.
Let me actually see if I can do. I'm going to turn this one back on for just a sec and lower it. Can I get this down to like 25? There we go. I feel like that's a little more appropriate. There we go. Okay. Spooky lighting for Halloween. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Cool. Well, I don't really have anything to like review. No Mountain Dew stuff for right now. Still waiting on the announcement of the Mountain Dew VooDew flavor. But
Any
I do have
theories?
some Buffalo Trace whiskey.
I
you were
have
asking for theories.
Yeah. Have you been on the Mountain Dew Reddit? Have you asked around like the guy at the comic book shop? Does he have an opinion?
No, I did not ask him. I don't think he's really into mystery flavor sodas. But I did look at our typical like Mountain Dew wiki that we used to go to every now and then, and they were talking about some clue that they left on their Twitter account, and it was a photo, and if you zoom into the bracelets that this one person is wearing, they have one that says "You're next," and then there's one that says it It was like the letters PFC, and people have deciphered that to mean pink fruit chew, because it's another collaboration with some kind of Halloween candy. So I'm assuming,
but not brand specific. One year I think it was Airheads, but every other year it's just been generic candy.
So this is another one that is in a collaboration with a top candy maker for Halloween. So pink fruit chew, I would assume pink Starburst. Right, yeah.
And
which is not what I thought at all.
That's very funny if that's the answer. Haven't I told you the story about people getting the big Halloween bags of Starburst that are all little individually wrapped 2-packs? And every single one of them is pink, even though the bag advertises itself as your traditional 4-flavor multi-pack.
Yeah, you have mentioned that. And I can totally see Mountain Dew doing something like that. To be like, pink Starburst. Let's make it taste like that. But I guess they announced it on Halloween, so I'll confirm the flavor on next week's episode of the review show. And then I guess next episode of the Captain's Log, we can say if I was right or not with the Starburst.
It's not like anyone else but you is going to spoil it for me. So you can wait 2 weeks and reveal it to me on the next episode of the Captain's Log.
I could. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see regardless of all of that stuff. But yeah, Melissa, do you want to reintroduce us to our Halloween antics that we do here every year?
This is our 6th annual Halloween special in this format. We call these... Let me set the stage. Let me start the story. Year 1, we decide to retell anecdotes from the Captain's Log as spooky stories. And over the course of the episode, we start doing these Twilight Zone introductions to them. And you keep calling the man Rod Serling, and I'm like, his name is Rod Serling. That's the host of the Twilight Zone. And we're like, we're not even doing a good Rod Serling. This is like a dollar store brand. It's such a knockoff. It's like Sterling instead of Serling, and his name's not even Rod. It's like Rob or Rib, and he became named McRib Sterling. And so this is our 6th McRib Sterling Halloween special. We've created, it's our number 1 character, the most important part of Whatnauts canon.
Yep.
The third host.
Our secret
you,
third
me,
host.
McRib Sterling.
The producer that you never see, right?
Right. He is a McDonald's ghoul who smokes a French fry, which is why I must always have the McDonald's French fries for this episode.
Indeed. Good stuff. I'm super excited to get into this. But I think this might be a great time to do housekeeping to just get that out of the way. And then we can dive right into all of our stories and stuff after that. So stay tuned, because we will be right back. Thank you so much for checking out this podcast. We hope you're enjoying it. If you didn't know, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and a lot of hard work goes into making them. So we would love it if you check them all out.
I did go
but
see
none of
Venom.
This is possible without your support. Head over to patreon.com/thewhatnauts, and you can get access to over 40 hours of exclusive content, including
it's got
our
flashes
Patreon
of like
first
very
podcast,
fascinating
The Pilots Club. When you sign up at our $3
but
tier,
not, whole
of course,
reactor
there is a
forward.
free version of the Pilots Club available, but episodes are exclusive to our Patreon for 2 years before they hit the free feeds. If you're interested in buying merch, we have shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more for sale over at thewhatnauts.com/store. Another great way to help us out is by subscribing and leaving a nice rating and review on your podcasting app of choice.
But the fact that it is
subscribe
about
to our
a
YouTube channel for video versions of the show, trailer reactions, and live streams. And lastly, you can always find out more information about the shows we make on our website, thewhatnauts.com. All right. We are back once again. A big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. We love you a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. It means a ton. Over on the Pilots Club, this month we got to do Uzumaki. We got to watch the first episode of that. From what it sounds like, maybe the final episodes after that weren't as great, but the first episode by itself was awesome. So go check it out. Go hear what we have to say on that. Melissa, do you want to tell them what we're going to be talking about this next month for the Pilots Club?
We're going to be watching the first episode of The Outsider. This is a show you can find on Max that is based off of a Stephen King novel. So it's spooky. I don't know a lot about it. It seems pretty dark, which is why I wanted to sample it in the Pilots Club format. Just watch one episode before committing to a whole season for the review show.
Very smart indeed. Very smart indeed. Over on the free version of the Pilots Club, this month we released our episode on Mockingbird Lane. A more modern take on the monsters that also did not make it to a full show. Only this pilot that I think they aired as a special one time. But yeah, go check all that stuff out. Right here on the Captain's Log, last episode, we got to talk about our fantasy movie league draft picks that we were joing this year. It's Melissa's second year joing this, but my first year on that. We got to talk about some movies we'd seen recently, including Saturday Night. And then I got to talk about Paddington 1 and 2, having rewatched those and introducing them to my partner. All that good stuff. So go check out the Captain's Log. Then over on the review show, we've been up to our typical antics of Spooky Month, Halloween Month, Scary Month, whatever you want to call it. We got to talk about Zatanna at the start of the month in some DC Comics. And then we watched the X trilogy to wrap up the month. We watched X, Pearl, and Maxine. In fact, I mentioned that to some people that I was at a party at just yesterday. They did not know it was a trilogy at all.
Oh.
Had no idea. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, sure is. Go watch them.
Go.
So yeah, we had some fun over on the review show as well. But yeah, I believe that is about it for housekeeping right now. So without further ado, let's get into our spooky stories. Melissa, I have about 9 of them. Here in my notes.
I have 6.
Okay, perfect.
We had a lot of good hooks this year. This is the first year where we recorded only every other week instead of every week. Right. So there's less to work with. But there's good stuff.
Indeed.
There were only about 6 that I was able to formalize into a bit of a story.
So I have 2 from the same episode.
Ooh.
So if you will allow me to go first,
yes,
I
absolutely.
Could go ahead and do those first 2. Knock them out here. So from episode 258, entitled "Show Me Your Free Courses," which it was, I think, about a year ago. It was the episode after our Halloween special. In which I talked about trying to go to a local event called the Freak Festival. And while we were on our way there and trying to find it, we thought we had arrived at our location, but there was some kind of like horse fair or something. Like they were like selling horses and cattle or something like that. I don't know what was happening.
Rachel, can we get a horse? I'll take care of them. I'll walk them. I'll feed them.
I've always wanted a pony. And yeah, we were just so confused because there was no signage of like, hey, if you're looking for the Freak festival go that way or something. Eventually, I found a goth girl, and I was like, I bet she's here for the Freak Festival. I'm gonna follow this goth girl. And we made it. We arrived safely. But I just thought, how weird would it have been if we like got to our destination, turned the corner, and instead of this like event where they're selling horses and cattle and like farm stuff, right? What if it was just an incredibly large gathering of horses? For no apparent reason, right? All like wild horses. You just turn the corner and there's hundreds of them.
It's not people who have brought horses. It's horses who have brought themselves.
People, right? Yeah.
And the goth girl is their one familiar. She's their Renfield. She does their bidding.
But like, I was thinking, like, how weird would it be if they all just like at the same time like turned and looked at you, right? And like nothing is on the news. No one is mentioning this on social media or the radio or stuff like that. No one is talking about this weird event that is happening of just this extra large gathering of horses. And then I was thinking, man, that'd be a nightmare. And then the light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, nightmare. What's another word for a horse? A mare.
So it's only female horses. No men allowed.
Right?
No boy island. You're the only boy there. They turn on you immediately.
Exactly. Just like I one of those weird events. If you just see something where there's more of it than there should be, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
So
there's a local store.
My
there's a local store that sells like patio furniture, hot tubs, things like that, a home and leisure center. And already mid-October, they've decorated for Christmas. And they decorate for Christmas by, I presume they also sell the Christmas trees that might fit into their brand. Never been in there. But they line the front of the store with Christmas trees. There's just like 20 Christmas trees in there, like all clustered in one area. Right. It's both beautiful, but a little unsettling.
Yeah. Yeah. Understandable. Well, here's my second story from that very same episode. Because after I told my story about all of that, Melissa, you were like, well, I just had a quiet night home watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. Why do you have to go in to see it with other people and do all the things? Why can't I just watch it calmly, quietly, by myself at home?
I have gone and enjoyed those rowdy screenings that you act along to, but that was my first time trying. What is this thing like when I watch it at home? And it's quiet and I can actually hear all the dialogue because nobody's yelling.
Right? Yeah. Well, what if the real reason is because if we don't watch it like that, if we don't do the rituals, we will anger a god. There will be an angry god.
Rocky himself.
Yeah.
What? If you don't, I like how you said rituals. If you don't do the full Rocky Horror Picture Show ritual, Meatloaf will crash through a wall in your house.
Exactly. Like the Silver Surfer. He's the herald of some kind of cosmic horror, right? I thought that would be hilarious.
Like, do you know the movie Cabin in the Woods?
I know of it. It's still on my list of shame.
Oh, man. Well, watch Cabin in the Woods and get back to me, and we'll talk about this further.
It might be on my list of shame next year, or our Halloween picks next year. Because it's been one that I've wanted to watch for a while, but I've been saving it for the podcast. So
okay, good.
Indeed.
Kyle.
All right, Melissa, your turn.
Speaking of a large gathering, in the episode 2 Megatrons, you brought up the gathering of Kyles. That in the town of Kyle, Texas, a bunch of Kyles tried to gather to set a world record, and they failed. They did not have enough Kyles. And it was
failures.
like, I don't think it was Kyle specific. I think it was the largest gathering of people with any of the same name. They were beat by like Normans or something.
Something like that.
Some other name did it, but Kyle's did not. Kyle's a pretty common name. I imagine quite frequently you're in a situation with another Kyle. You know, maybe this is... Yeah?
I've certainly run into a couple. It not as common as you might think.
Okay. But imagine, if you will, maybe you're at a work conference. You encounter another Kyle. You both have the name tags on. You're like, oh, Kyle. You Spider-Man point at each other. And then a Guinness World Record official in like a little suit with like a little sash comes up to you and awards both of you biggest gathering of Kyles. And you're like, what do you mean? There's only 2 Kyles here. And they're like, you haven't heard? There was a plague on Kyle. You 2 are the only Kyles left.
The last of us.
A plague, not a serial killer. A true godly plague where everyone just has the same name. There's no Britneys anymore.
Poor Britney's. At least Kyle had some survivors, me included, right?
What would you do if, like, would you all die instantaneously? How fast would it go? How fast could you legally change your name?
Does it spread from one Kyle to another? Would legally changing your name even help, right?
Right. How close? Maybe all the Kyles die, and then Kylie Minogue just gets very sick. How serious is it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Because like that'd be a weird thing to think about, because it's not a biological weapon,
no,
right? Like it is just some.
You don't have that DNA in you. You don't have the Kyle gene.
Who knows?
Which
maybe
that might have been what
the Kyle
maybe
gene.
Maybe that's what the show Kyle XY was really about. I never finished it.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Now I'm just thinking of all the like post-apocalyptic stories that I've read and what their reasonings was.
Like why the last man?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Kyle the last Kyle.
Kyle the last 2 Kyles.
You and that man are like brothers now.
Yeah. Gotta stick together. But then, like, I would also have to question, like, does it transfer from one Kyle to the next? Like, are you infected? Am I infected and I don't know it?
What makes us live? Why do we survive?
Exactly.
You go through a whole mental breakdown like Mark Lynn Baker on The Leftovers.
Right, yeah.
You fake your deaths just like him so that you're not weird outliers.
Yeah. I'm glad you did one with the gathering of Kyles, because I thought I remembered us talking about that, and I was just like, I want to come up with something for that, but I couldn't think of a good enough one. So I think you nailed it there. I think you nailed it. Okay, for my next one, on episode 260. Entitled Wicker Man Seeks Wicker Woman. Melissa, you talked about reading a book called The Long Walk by Stephen King.
Yes.
Right? In which a group of young boys have to walk across the state of Maine without stopping. If they stop, they die. Right?
Yeah, essentially.
And you described that premise as sounding like a fake Stephen King premise. Like it.
Yes.
It sounds
it's
like
a parody of something he would write.
Exactly. Well, in that same episode, Melissa, I challenged you to explain the rules of football to me. I think I found the next parody of a Stephen King book here. Melissa, you have one day to explain all the rules of football or you die. You have to learn all the ins and outs. You need to be an expert by the end of the day.
This is like if they tried to do a Saw movie with no gore in it. Yeah. What else are the challenges, are the traps you must escape from?
Yeah, just some real complex sport that you need to like learn the ins and outs of and explain it. You got one day to learn it all or you die.
Otherwise, they punt me. They kick me. Yeah. They bring that big NFL robot from the broadcast.
Come and spike you. Yeah.
He kicks me across the goalpost. I'm severed on the goalpost.
Ooh, yeah. This is a warning. Next time, explain football better.
You have to know what offsides means. Or else.
Indeed. Next up, Melissa.
In the episode 3 Thumbs Up, our first episode of the year, you had just returned from spending some time with your family over the holiday season. You go back home to see your parents, and when you're all sitting down watching TV together, it buffers sometimes. And eventually you find out this is because your parents have become convinced if they put tinfoil over their router, it attracts a better signal and the router goes faster. And you explain to them, no.
Yep.
No, take the tinfoil off, and now we can watch The Bear at full speed without it stopping. I don't know if you were a healthy baby, but if you're here now, so you must have been at least mostly
healthy. I lived
healthy.
Somehow. I survived the plague of Kyle's as well. So, cheers, y'all.
What if you are a weak little baby, a little sickly one, and your parents are like, what can we do to give our son some strength? Well, I've heard about this one weird trick. If it works for the router, we have to try everything to save our son. What kind of parents are we if we aren't? Gotta wrap the baby in tinfoil. So you're swaddled up like a baked potato.
Just a little burrito.
just a full burrito, boy. And yet it may be due to the foil, maybe not. You live, you pull through whatever your fictional condition is. But your parents never give up on the foil. You gotta have the foil. It's just wrapped around you like a mummy.
Yeah.
The foil's on your body at all times. They like sew it into the lining of your clothes. They try and implant it under your fingernails. Ugh. Just put it under your skin.
Ugh.
The foil will protect you. Your foil forever. And it's just crinkly and it's loud and it can get kind of sharp and like cut you. So you're covered with all these little cuts, but you're still strong enough that your parents are like, well, the foil's working. Keep putting the foil on. You just
still not dead yet.
One day you just get too close to a microwave and that's it. Sizzling.
Cooked alive.
Ugh.
My life has been foiled.
Like a true baked potato.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. The scary thing for me in that is like waking up to them like trying to stick it underneath my fingernails or like wrap my teeth in foil. Right? Ugh. That'd be gross.
In your ears. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. That's a good one.
Do you remember school kids doing this thing where they'd take one of those silvery little gum wrappers and they could peel the like silvery part off of the paper part on the inside? And
Yeah.
there was a little adhesive on the foil part, and then they would like stick it to their notebooks.
Yep. I remember that.
Your parents are just slowly doing that to your whole body. There's just a pile of big red in the corner of your room.
Yeah. Yeah. This that one really reminds me of Junji Ito.
Yes.
Right, something he would do, which is perfect because my next story also is very similar to something that Junji Ito has done. In episode 264, entitled "The Scent of Crime," Melissa, your car got broken into, but they left you a present. They left a bottle of men's cologne.
Yes.
I don't remember the exact type, but that got me thinking. The scent of crime. Oh, okay, what if different cities smelled like different things, like horrible things, based on what the most like the most not popular, but the most abundant crime that there. So like the murder capital of the United States smelled like rotten fish, right? Like in the Junji Ito story, Gayo. But like, what if a city where theft was the most popular crime? What if it smelled like rotten eggs or smelly socks, right? Just something like that. But just so much that the entire city smelled like that, and you couldn't escape it. You couldn't get rid of it. It smelled like a particular thing.
You know how after the Boston molasses flood, to this day, on very hot days, that part of Boston still kind of smells like molasses?
Yeah.
It's just that. What if you have a smell, but you can't understand why? And you're like, we're a good city. Clearly, this can't be a punishment. And it's a portent of something yet to come. You know, you smell rotten eggs, and then all the eggs go bad. All the chickens die. Their eggs rot away.
Yeah. Who knows? But like, that'd be interesting because
people will see visions or hear visions. Nobody's ever smelled a vision before because they're called visions and you see them. You've never smelled a smell, and it's the future.
Gotta start somewhere. But like, that's the thing is like it could change. Like the smell could completely change overnight if a certain crime overtakes the other run. And then like one day you wake up and your heady that used to smell like rotting meat, right, now smells like just something else that's just equally as bad, but like something so distinct, right, that it's just like, oh no, a new smell. Like, come on, guys, why'd you have to murder him? You know,
right? Larceny's up now. What? Well, we're a town that's really big into embezzlement.
Yeah. I just feel like that would ruin people's lives in interesting, strange ways, right? So, yeah, those two remind me of Junji Ito for sure.
Definitely. My inspiration from The Scent of Crime. So these would-be car thieves broke into my car, tried to steal it. They did leave a bottle of perfume of like Marc Jacobs cologne behind. Kenneth Cole reaction. That's what it was.
Sure.
I don't know. Did they steal it from another car? Did they bring it with them? Like, oh, I'm going out car thieving tonight. Better smell good. Got to bring the reaction. And it like fell out of their pocket. I don't know. But the episode description I wrote was that would-be car thieves leave something surprising behind in Melissa's beloved Hyundai.
Yeah.
What if I had to contend with the true harsh reality of the old meme, we put a car in your car so you can drive while you drive.
Hey, yo, Melissa.
Think about it.
We heard you like driving. So we put a car in your car.
So you can drive while you drive is what Mr. Exhibit said on the television show.
Exactly.
Pimp My Ride.
Yep.
What?
Best episode.
What does that mean for your life if there's a car inside your car? There's one fit neatly inside the other like a matryoshka doll. It has two of everything. So there's two of everything you have to fix and replace. It needs twice the oil change. And you're driving while you're driving. So I imagine your brain goes back into like a sunken place. But instead of just floating around in there, you have to drive. So you're driving in a black void inside your mind while you're also just driving down your regular street. And you have to navigate all of this. You're like seeing in 2 dimensions at once. You're on multiple planes of reality, and you have to be a safe, conscientious driver in all of them.
This feels like kind of an out-of-body experience where you're piloting something that is driving you, that's driving the car, right?
Right. What if, as a mecha pilot, the mech suit you're in then had to get into a very big mech suit-sized vehicle?
The car in your brain is driving you so that you can drive your car.
I'm putting this in terms you can understand.
What if the Gundam got inside the Jaeger and synced up with another Gundam and therefore was piloting the Jaeger even better? Because mechs, it takes one to know one, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure, there's haunted car movies. There's Steven Spielberg's Duel, his first or second film, where it's just a car that won't stop chasing you. The severe case of road rage. There's the haunted cars, the possessed cars of Stephen King's own Maximum Overdrive. But there's nothing wrong with the car. There's something wrong with the experience of driving. You have to drive twice.
I just feel like I'm in a second car, man.
You're in an image. You're looking at an image over an image. Your hands are disassociated like in Primer. Your hands aren't doing the same things.
You're just sitting there looking at them like, whoa. Good stuff. Let's see here. Okay. In the very next episode after that, episode 265, entitled Melissa Explains It Ball, I first experienced the Council of Cats.
Oh my gosh.
There was a group of cats that would congregate in my neighborhood, and specifically in front of or behind my house. Like right in front of our garage or in our backyard. And I know some people are superstitious about cats and running into a black cat or stuff like that. So I got to thinking, maybe they're up to something. And maybe the reason why I still don't know exactly who my neighbors are over here on this side is because those cats keep killing them. They killed that nice old man. They killed the young woman
original
and her mom
Luigi
that I saw moving in there. Yeah, original Luigi, right? Who knows? Maybe the guy that I met, Jeff, is just a bunch of cats in a human skin suit.
This is what I was wondering. How do we know the cats haven't killed them? Maybe the cats are them, that they transform. That
right.
Sometimes you see an old man or a Jeff, but then when you're not looking, they go back to their preferred form of being cats. The neighborhood watch guy you saw, cats under there.
Yeah. He had the big overcoat, and it's
so
6 cats standing on each other with the human mask.
That's why he looked exactly like the guy on the neighborhood watch sign. The cat needs something to transform into to take its human form.
And that's what it saw first.
I'll be that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the cats are up to something in my neighborhood. And what's strange is, since talking about them on the podcast haven't seen them. They're gone. They're up to something, right? Maybe they are. The mission accomplished. They've replaced all my neighbors with cats.
They rid the world of the Boobie Bouncer.
Right?
That's my next story. In the episode, a big year for sandworms. You talk about what a car parked at your neighbor's house had a bunch of bumper stickers on it, and one of them just said the Boobie Bouncer, which sounds like it's the title of a porn parody of Roadhouse, where Patrick Swayze's character is a woman. It's very literally a bouncer with boobies. And then the car disappeared, or the sticker came off the car?
They took the sticker off, but I will add to that story, I also have not seen that car in a long time now.
What if, and we described, if a car showed up with a sticker on it that says the Boobie Bouncer, that's your worst idea of a new stepdad. So picture this new stepdad. Just an absolute chump of a fella. Just very immature. Loves a bouncing boobie. One night he sees a shooting star and he wishes on the shooting star for all boobies to bounce forever. The most beautiful sight he's ever seen. He wants that perpetually.
Yeah.
And then what if they all did? They just don't stop. They just jiggle constantly, like one of those little vibrating toys that they'd have in the crate outside of KB Toys.
Right, yeah.
They don't stop. Like, so everybody goes to the doctor. Help. Why do they do this? What effect does this have on me? What's wrong with my heart? Am I burning calories? Am I supposed to do this?
Right?
It jiggles in your sleep. You can't get any work done.
Maybe Am I a
you're
sleeper
like in the
agent?
What is this? Is this a bomb? 2 bombs? Imagine you're in the kitchen, you're like chopping vegetables, you're trying to make a meal. Too much jiggling. Your hands tremor.
In the way. Yeah.
Right. You can't drive. You can't do a surgery.
Yeah, no.
The world grinds to a halt just because this one dumbass is like, what if boobies bounced forever? And eventually they all bounce so much, there's an earthquake. And that poor dumb guy just falls into a crevice.
But then, oddly enough, all of the burlesque dancers who know how to do the tassels in multiple ways just oddly can't anymore.
No.
The rhythm is off, right? The natural vibrations in the earth are off. That they can't do it anymore.
They're at the wrong frequency.
Yeah.
So they've lost their livelihoods. And now there's all these other folks who are like, well, can I do it now? And then the market is flooded. There's a stripper bubble that just bursts.
Boobs everywhere, tassels all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you try and get them removed. And then they take them out and whatever is left just jiggles. It just jiggles in the medical waste disposal bin.
Do me and the other Kyle, do we slightly feel it? Men have breast tissue, but not in the same way. There's some breast tissue,
right? Yeah.
So
you
is this on low?
You just feel like a slight hum. What if one day there's an eclipse?
I'm sitting there Kyle? Are you feeling what I'm feeling, Kyle? Yeah, Kyle. This is weird, Kyle.
I love this frat boy comedy about the last 2 Kyles left on Earth. They're not the last 2 men left on Earth. There's plenty of men, Kyles, but there's just the only 2 Kyles.
We're all ready for the apocalypse, but everything is just normal outside.
What Kyle
for the
faced
boobies.
death will we face?
Right, yeah.
No, there's an eclipse and like the moon's over the sun, and together they're two orbs and they look like two boobs and they bounce also into Earth as we know it. Shockwaves ripple through space.
What about the people with fake boobs? They're not real.
I don't think whatever this is, if we're going back to our original guy, like dumbass Doug who moved in
DNA?
next door,
Yeah,
he doesn't care. He does not discriminate size or origin of boobs. They all jiggle.
Okay, there you go. Jiggling boobs everywhere.
What if like ones that weren't even on humans, like just on like a figurine? Just like
right, all of your anime waifu figures just start
all your anime figurines and Mrs. Butterworth.
Right? Yeah. Good Lord, that's so funny. All right. In episode 268, entitled "Retired Local B-Boy," we asked which M&Ms were hottest. What if the hotter you as a person were in real life, the better you tasted? So celebrities were famous. Celebrities were famous because we couldn't wait to like eat them.
Who? We? All of us?
Yes, us. Yeah. Whoever could get to them. They were famous because we knew that they would taste better.
First off, the hotter you are, the tastier you are sounds like that's the plot of a Hannibal fourth season we never got.
Right, yeah.
Hannibal just sets out to eat every hottie, every people's sexiest man.
Sure, yeah. But then, like, it'd be interesting because there are people who, like maybe they were hot when they were younger, but then as they got older, kind of lost their good looks, right? So they're like, it's like, we missed out on their peak time. You were hoping they would have the glow up, or they started out hot, right? And then we were hoping they'd get hotter, but we missed our chance. Or the opposite, right? Where it's like someone is able to skate by for so long, and then they get that perfect haircut where it's just like, that's your look.
Oh no.
You're hot.
Like somebody will age.
Good. Yeah.
Somebody will age into their looks. Suddenly they're in danger when they weren't before.
Right. Yeah.
You know, this is all like a very shallow, but very silly to think about. What if somebody's like, I gotta uggo myself up on purpose so I can live? Yeah. What does that look like? Can I just manifest?
But
acne?
Then
I don't.
Then you have people who are into the like real different looks of like, I like the like retired boxer look with the messed up nose and the like cauliflower ear.
There's the sort of weird hotties. Somebody Benedict Cumberbatch. He's like a cilantro. You like him or you don't.
Yeah. You like him or he tastes like soap.
Right.
Yeah.
A very silly juvenile TMZ-esque thing to think about. And M&Ms all taste the same, regardless of the character. I don't remember who we decided is the hottest M&M. What did I say? Red?
I don't remember. I think we ended on like to each their own, right?
There's one for everybody. They all taste the same. M&Ms don't taste like different than each other. Like I think, like yellow is peanut. I think like blue is crispy or orange is crispy. But like purple, I think is just like another regular M&M. Most of them are just regular M&Ms.
Yeah,
and those all taste like each other.
Yeah, I guess the idea was like, well, what do you do with M&Ms? You eat them. So what if we ate people?
I don't like the idea of us eating people. What if like an alien comes to Earth and is like, I'm going to eat you. What if Galactus, the Meatloaf, the Silver Surfer, crashes into Earth? It is like, yo, Galactus is coming. And Galactus is like, hottest people first. Line up at this point in the Indian Ocean. This is where I decided it starts.
Angelina Jolie. Here you go. There's that one. Are you into Brad Pitt? Maybe a Benedict Cumberbatch over here. You never know, right?
Like we don't know what you're
like him, her.
He wants to eat. I know he eats planets, but what if he ate just an entire planet's worth of people and he decided hottest first? And people are like, well, let's line up all our hotties, and then maybe he'll get full, and the rest of us will be fine.
Me
just fill up on
Kyle
beefcakes and
like,
cheesecakes.
Yeah, we made another one. We made it through another one.
You guys keep living through every plague. You survived that one. Now you'll survive everyone.
Indeed. Melissa, you're up next.
Oh boy. In the doom we made along the way, I talked about how I drove past a road sign warning you of road construction. Mm-hmm. And it flashed, and it flashes the message. It's one of the electronic ones. And it says, construction begins on German Monday. And for a second, I'm like, when did we invent this? What day is German Monday? Just this Monday? When's German Monday? And then I drove by it again and realized German is the name of like a little side street I had never noticed before. But I'm like, how did an entire holiday happen? One that is recognizable enough that it goes on the street sign.
Right.
And then and is more prevalent than just saying like Monday the 14th. They're like, no, German Monday. We all know German Monday. Like everybody makes a holiday and you don't know. You don't know what it means. You're like, is this German the culture or German the chocolate cake?
Right.
This is a day when we put coconut and pecans on something. What if construction was decreed to begin on German Monday? The city hands out this announcement. It's on the calendar. And the foreman's like, okay, yeah, happy to work on the road. Got my crew, got my guys ready. When's German Monday? When is that? And the city just says, oh, you'll know. You'll know when German Monday is. So they go out on just like, oh, Monday. Like, is this it? No. They try. They just pick on Monday. The next Monday, they go out there. They try and work on the road. They're like jackhammer breaks. A guy falls in a hole. It doesn't go well. They're like, maybe it's metaphorical. Maybe German Monday is like the beginning of something great for Germany. And they're like, what is it, like a big political win? Is it like their soccer team winning the World Cup?
Is it like the first Monday in October fest or something like that? Right.
These things come and go. They try on all of these Mondays. Can we work on the road now? And something always gets in their way and they can't work on the road. It rains, it storms, there's a mud hole, a sinkhole, they can't do it. Maybe it is.
Sorry, y'all, it's Kyle Monday right now. The anniversary of when we survived.
And one day, there's just some local bakery who's like, our treat of the day today, a German chocolate cake. And maybe that's what finally does it. Is one bakery just had to decide today's the day we make a chocolate cake covered in pecans and coconut frosting. Today's the day they can work on the road. But of course, you can't work on a road in just one day. So after German Monday is over, they got to wait for it to come around again.
Yeah. They have to wait for like a certain ratio of German chocolate cake in the entire world to be available.
Everybody has to bake one, and they have to bake one on Monday.
Yeah. Has to line up exactly like how, like once every 16 years or so, all the planets align or something like that, right? That's funny.
I've got one more real one. How many more real ones do you have?
I have 1, 2. I have 3 more. Well,
Go for it.
2 real ones. One is more so a question. So yeah, we'll get to that one. But my next one, from episode 272, entitled "The Reverse Godfather," I talked about how the spittle ratio has gone up. That I think more actors are more okay or expected. Who knows what's happening? I don't know what's happening in Hollywood.
Like, this is in a studio algorithm. They're like, we need a romantic comedy that's also a spy adventure where also the actors just sort of spit. Audiences want it. That'll make it successful.
But it's not just spit. It's spit and snot and tears, like all of this stuff all at once. Your face is just oozing these liquids.
Right.
But what if it only started in Hollywood? What if it's contagious and it just keeps happening and keeps happening to the point where it can't stop, and people are just constantly oozing liquid and drooling, and snot is running down your nose and you're crying all the time, to the point where like you walk outside and everything's just wet, like it's like it had rained and you just have to step in it, right? And
it's also very Junji Ito,
right? Also Junji Ito.
There's the iconic image from the Blair Witch Project of Heather facing the camera, and she's got the snot dripping down her nose as she sobs that they got lost in the woods and the Blair Witch is going to get them. And the marketing for that movie, many people believed when they went to see it in the theater, this is true found footage. This really happened to these kids. There is a Blair Witch.
Right.
What if the Blair Witch gets me? And what if all those fears were wrong? No, snot's going to get you. There's just
it's not what you think it is.
Plague.
Right.
There's just a plague of runny noses, and that's the effect that Blair Witch Project has on the culture.
Yeah, and it just won't stop, and eventually you're knee deep in like saliva and snot and all that stuff. It's like a second flood on the earth.
Snot flood.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst fate we can have. Snot flood.
Yeah, indeed. Do you want me to double up and do my question one here?
What is this question? Yes, ask.
Sure. So, from episode 277, entitled "McQueen of the Backrooms," I bought a new bottle of gin. It was the McQueen and the Violet Fog Ultraviolet edition, and it's this purple colored gin. And as I was looking up reviews for that gin to see, like, I bought this kind of on a whim, on a recommendation from our local liquor store. Is this actually any good? What should I expect? I discovered something else. I discovered these YouTube videos of an evil Lightning McQueen haunting you in the back rooms, chasing you. There were messages written in blood oil on the wall, right? That said things like "dead battery" and like "you'll never drive again." It must be the radiator, or says something like that. And so I wanted to pose a question for us to each answer. Melissa, if you were trapped in the back rooms, what would the scariest animated character be to haunt you in that?
Man.
Like, what animated character would haunt you the most, would scare you the most?
Professor Screw Eyes from We're Back, A Dinosaur Story.
Okay, let me see. I don't know what this guy looks like off the top of my head. I know
He's
I've
an
seen
old
that
man with a
movie.
screw for an eye.
Mr. Screw Eye. Oh,
I think it's
Professor.
doctor or professor.
Let me
There's
see.
two
Let me see
brothers, New
doctor.
Eyes and Screw Eyes, and I think one of them's a doctor and one of them's a
Okay, yeah.
professor.
Professor Screw Eyes. I'm seeing him here. Let me see if I can get a good picture of him. Do we got a large one? There we go. Let's bring this up on screen so people can check it out. Oop, here we go. Yeah, Professor Screw Eye.
Him or King Ramses, Return the Slab from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Ooh, King Ramses. King Ramses.
Return the slab.
Return the slab, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's terrifying.
You made a face. See, it's true.
That's awful. That's awful. I don't want that. Who wants that?
No, but it's universal.
I see like the like stereotypical like YouTube reaction face, some guy like right next to his picture.
Right.
That's so funny.
I agree. Every millennial knows.
Good Lord.
You know who else would be really somebody who could either really help me or really hurt me. I don't know whether to trust him or not if I found him in the back rooms. Clippy.
Ooh. He would annoy you, right? He'd be I feel like he'd be more annoying than scary, but it'd get to the point where you'd hate him, right? Leave me alone.
Hold on. So McRib Sterling, we've always described as just existing in like a white void where like a product floats in a commercial, just like a burger in air. The area where he lives, I think, is called the McRooms instead of the back rooms. He walks around. He's in his Mech suit in the McRooms. It's just halls of like white hallways. It's like Severance down there. Yeah. And like every mile or so, you will find like a single play slide just in a room.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think for me, the one that came to mind for me would be the Disney character Pete from the Goofy movie. Just the big guy that like, Goof, you're a terrible father, right?
He's gonna make you do something. You know, if his son's not around, you're his new son. You have to clean everything. You have to do his bidding.
Exactly.
That's a man who's got bidding. Goofy never bids anything. Just Max, go fishing with me.
He's evil. He's big, so he's menacing. Right? He just has this presence about him that is just like.
Evil feels like such a strong word to put on Pete from a Goofy movie.
He's evil.
I mean, he's the most evil thing in the movie. It's not
he's pure like, evil, Melissa.
Evil.
The essence of pure evil. Pete from the Goofy movie.
and not to disparage his size, especially after we tried to quantify some hotness for the purpose of the silly, scary story. You'd see his big belly coming before you'd see the rest of him.
Yeah.
And that's also kind of scary. Just like a belly coming around the corner.
He's
got
menacing.
That booming voice.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like peace and quiet. And then all of a sudden you'd hear his voice getting closer. Yeah. 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 That's my scary story. My scary question. Actually.
What if you saw Pete? What if you saw a too competitive dad from a 90s kids movie?
Right, yeah. So funny. All right, Melissa, it's all you.
You don't. Do you have another one?
I do. I have one more, I believe.
Okay. Hope it's a good one. This is not something I can recall if we talked about on a specific episode, but I know we've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about Marvel news a lot on the Captain's Log. We're both big
Yeah.
movie fans. We love Marvel. We're there for all the Marvel updates. For the first time, I wanted to try turning one of those into a spooky story. A Marvel news update. One of the things we've been puzzling about this year is the addition of the asterisk to the end of The Thunderbolts.
Right.
This movie that was announced 2 years ago as The Thunderbolts, a team we know from Marvel Comics. Now, all of a sudden, it is presented as The Thunderbolts, asterisk. It is presented as such in all marketing materials.
Mm-hmm.
They've acknowledged it. Kevin Feige has gone up there and said,
There's
you're wondering what the asterisk means. It means something. I'm not telling you. I don't know when we'll know what the asterisk means. Is this waiting for another trailer? Will this be the day the film comes out? What is it? And when will we know what it is?
I hope it's not in any trailer. I hope it's not in any marketing, and you have to go see the movie to figure out what it means.
You know, they're Marvel movies. They, if anyone has the pull to get that to happen, it would be them.
Yeah.
What if you worked for Marvel for Marvel Studios in some low level capacity? You're just like an office admin, you know, you just like type reports and file things and get coffee. You're like an intern or whatever. Kyle, name our intern.
We're going to name him Jimmy Saison.
Jimmy Saison. Okay. One day, Jimmy Saison goes to work. He clocks in with his little badge or whatever. And they're like, oh, we updated the badges. Everyone gets a new badge. The security guard hands it to him. Like, here's yours. And it says Jimmy asterisk. And he's like, I don't know what the asterisk means. Does it mean it's short for James? It is. But I go by Jimmy. Jimmy's cool. He doesn't see anybody else with an asterisk on their badge. And later that day, you know, is when the announcement goes out. I don't know if Marvel sends out these news updates to the rest of their whole corporate team. Hey, we're putting an asterisk at the end of the Thunderbolts. Team, you're all aware now. Now we will tell the Hollywood Reporter or whatever it is. He's the only one. The only one with an asterisk on his name badge. Jimmy asterisk. And he's like, what does this mean? Like, it must be tied to the movie. What does the movie mean? Mm-hmm. But of course, the secret's locked down. He's just an intern. Nobody knows. Most of the cast probably doesn't even know. It's secret, you know, like,
yeah.
David Harbour, he's only seen the pages with him in it. Not everybody. Nobody but Kevin, and the director and the screenwriter. Very few people have the whole picture of what the Thunderbolts asterisk is going to be and what the asterisk means. So Jimmy can't get a clear answer from anybody. All he can get are theories. And he's like, "What? Why me? Why do I have this? Why am I tethered to the fate of this movie?" And he spends months worrying. What is this, a prank? Is this a joke? How am I tied to the movie? What is it? What is it? Just his life has to be the same mystery as the movie. He's stuck in the same realm. People are theorizing. Word gets out. People theorize about him. There's an Eric Voss thumbnail with like pointing at Jimmy. Know? Like, does he know?
Yeah.
Jimmy doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know anything.
What if it ended up being something like, you know how they did those special screenings of Megalopolis where they had the actor there? Like, there is one special screening for whenever Jimmy goes to see the movie, and they're talking directly to him in that thing, and they involve Jimmy in the movie.
All of their every line, there's an alternate cut of the movie where every line is the characters talking directly to camera, speaking to Jimmy. It's like Dora the Explorer.
All right, Jimmy, here's our mission.
But let's
Jimmy,
say,
what do you think we should do with Red Hulk?
Let's say it is the night of the premiere. Jimmy gets to go to the theater. And maybe they're in the movie. A title card flashes and we know what the asterisk means. They've updated the title somehow. And you and I know the theories, the real world theories, that perhaps it'll be the Thunderbolts versus some other group. And that's what they're keeping secret. Like, or that it's Thunderbolts is the cover name for the Dark Avengers.
Right, yeah.
What if it is the Dark Avengers? And Jimmy has now become Dark Jimmy. He's linked. His fate is linked. They are tied.
Dark Jimmy. I'm not evil, I swear.
Maybe he's been turning evil quietly this whole time in small ways, just not holding the door open for people, doing a worse job at his job.
He's more evil than me.
And he's like, they are the Dark Avengers. I am Dark Jimmy. This was it. Kevin knew, or Kevin prescribed this. Kevin controls my fate now.
How does Kevin know?
How does he know? Or another theory is perhaps the movie could be the Thunderbolts versus Young Avengers. Perhaps this is the case. And then it's Jimmy versus Young Avengers. And all these young actors step out. They are ready to fight. Haley Steinfeld is going to beat up Jimmy.
Jimmy, you're in for it now.
At the premiere, live at the premiere.
Right, yeah.
At the Chinese theater, at the El Capitan.
Oh, man. Poor Jimmy.
And what if the fate of the movie tied to Jimmy? What if it doesn't do so well? You know, the movie loses box office. How did
wins, right?
Against every actor who's playing a young Avenger.
Yeah.
Then what does he get to do? Then he gets to be the new Kang. They're like, we're bringing Kang back and it's Jimmy. Everybody get ready for Jimmy Dynasty.
Robert Downey Jr. is playing Jimmy.
What? Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doom, but Jimmy is playing Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, that's funny. That's good.
I just thought I'd try it. A terrifying Twilight Zone what if for a piece of pop culture news.
That's a great one. I like that one. My last one is nowhere near as in depth as that one, but in episode 280, a more recent one here, entitled "Wet Detectives," Melissa, you finally moved into your new office space, or at least that was the first one that you mentioned. We're moving, we started, all of that stuff.
Yes.
I think. I don't remember if it was that one or one shortly after in the past like week or two that you told me about the strange things that had been happening at your office. Well, we often hear about haunted houses, but you don't often hear about haunted office buildings.
Not at all.
I think you have a ghost. I think your office is haunted. I think there was someone trapped in the back rooms, in the McRooms of your office.
We do have McRooms.
Yeah. And I think they their life was tragically cut short in some terrible fate. I don't know what it was, but they've never left.
It's very funny because I think AAA used to have our office space once upon a time. Imagine if you called for help in AAA headquarters and AAA never came.
AAA, there's a car inside my car. What do I do?
There's a car in here. There's a car chasing me. There's
Evil
a big
Lightning
95
McQueen
on it.
being driven by some guy named Jimmy.
Nobody drives Lightning McQueen. He drives himself. I don't know if that's more scary or less scary.
Oh, man. Yeah, good stuff. That was my last one, my last story there.
When we first moved in and there was nothing, no furniture, nothing on the walls, it was the most liminal, most backroom space I've ever been in real life.
Yeah.
For a couple days, it was truly, I am walking around an ARG game. I'm walking around a Kane Pixels video.
Yeah. Oh, man. This has been fun. This is always such a blast.
It's very silly. I wish more haunted houses were liminal backroom spaces instead of just, wow, I'm a clown.
Right, yeah.
I got a hatchet.
Ghost. I got a hatchet, yeah.
Stop yelling. Give me a quietly unnerving haunted house.
Yeah.
I like the idea that McRib Sterling, who is a Danny DeVito, if we haven't mentioned this, he's not Danny DeVito.
He looks like Danny DeVito.
He's Danny DeVito.
Alternate universe, Danny DeVito.
But he walks around in a Ronald McDonald mech suit, and the Ronald McDonald mech suit is all in black and white. I like the idea that he walks around eternally in the McRooms, where it's just a golden arch every once in a while, like the Windows 95 maze screensaver, and every once in a while you just hit that smiley face.
Yeah, you'd hit the golden arches, or all of a sudden, from around a corner, you'd see a play place ball like roll out.
Oh, that is creepy.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, man.
There'd be a trail of chicken nuggets somewhere.
You find a McFlurry machine and it's broken.
No, it's pristine. It works. That'd be more scary. Like
that's the one thing you have. You can't get all the McFlurries you want trapped here in the McRooms. But they have weird flavors. You can't get M&M or like Oreo here.
Yeah,
it's honey mustard. It's sweet and sour sauce.
It's the Szechuan sauce flavor. Yeah,
it's just hot coffee. How was the coffee hot?
Apple pie flavor.
Oh, that one's actually pretty good. But like fillet of fish, all the McFlurries you want, nasty only. There's salad. You want a salad McFlurry?
the McShaker. Isn't that what it used to be? The salads.
Yes,
in the cup
shake? The salad. I got a bunch of those. I wish they'd bring them back. I'd love to eat a salad out of a little plastic cup that I shake up.
The McShaker.
Do you think his lover / rival Bob Chili if McRib Sterling is in the McRooms, is Bob Chili in a regular Chili's or like some sort of a night Chili's?
Melissa, have you ever been to a night Chili's? What is this?
I don't know, but like, is that what he has?
I was almost thinking like dilapidated Chili's, like old abandoned one. Like you would see the like dilapidated theme park kind of stuff in some things, but it's a dilapidated
He's in the
Chili's.
Nara dreamland of a Chili's.
Like every once in a while, like there's some speaker that's like slowly playing through the static. I want my baby back. baby back, baby back, right?
No, it plays on a loop. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
It just won't stop. Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
I think it's a normal Chili's, but it's in like a fog void. It's in Silent Hill.
Yeah,
And
it's
you
just
get
fog everywhere.
There's nothing outside of the Chili's.
There's
and
just
he will
one
stare
lone
out of
bartender wiping that same cup
a single
over and over.
Lloyd. Yeah. It's a Shining. It's the ballroom from The Shining, but it's a Chili's.
That's good. I like that. Oh, this has been a great one. This has been a lot of fun. Well, I think that may wrap us up there.
That's what we do every year. We tell a bunch of dumb,
Indeed,
quote unquote, spooky stories. We're like, what lore can we force upon ourselves now?
Yep.
To continue every year and to be more and more difficult to explain to the people in our lives.
I don't think I've once explained our McRib Sterling
Rachel
lore
doesn't
to
know
anyone. I mean, she's watched all of the episodes eventually. I don't
but
know
you don't
if
have to
if I
tell
quizzed
anybody.
her. Right, like, like if I show up to trivia night next year with a question about McRib Sterling, I don't think Ignacio will know what the hell we're talking about, right?
Oh man, let's try and ask him. Has he even paid attention to the existence of the words?
I don't think so. We need to have an official like character sheet for McRib Sterling. We need to commission an artist to draw a picture of him, Danny DeVito, inside the chest of this like Ronald McDonald mech suit,
and he looks so preposterous. And then Bob Chili, I think, just looks like a normal man wearing a tie with chili peppers on it.
Right, yeah, he has pieces of flair on his suspenders. But like we need to have that so that we can like similar to how I issued the challenge of explain all the rules of football and you challenged me to call someone what a good boy, right? In some
call an adult man a brave boy for doing some mundane task.
So like, what if that was one of our challenges? Once we get this sheet ready, we have the artwork all set. We have to then go and explain this to someone else that we know. Maybe it's your roommate, maybe it's a coworker, I don't know. And then we come back and tell each other the experience we had. Like, what was their reaction when we explained this?
Yes, I'll explain it to my coworkers who are all incredibly intelligent and lucrative financial advisors.
Yeah, hey, if they want to invest, they have an opportunity, right?
You can invest in
McRib Sterling. Invest
big
in
payouts, major dividends, other words.
Do you want the McRooms to come back? Because if you invest now, the McRooms are back.
With your support, we have to get like pledges.
Yeah,
like we're going in a charity run. We have to get pledges to do this again next year.
Pledged is pledged. There you go. Good stuff. Well, yeah, this was fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed it and had a great time. Melissa, now that we are at the end of our episode here, where can the people find you on the internet?
I was eating a fry.
I was
you
trying
can email
to
me.
Lengthen that as much as I could.
Thank you.
I could.
Not much of a social media person. Social media, volatile. Who knows what accounts anyone has or what platform they feel like using? Just email me. It's at yourhostmelissa@gmail.com.
Indeed. You guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer and stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts at the Whatnauts Official on Threads. So please go like, share, and subscribe. That would help us out a ton. If you're watching this on YouTube, plenty more videos over there on that side of the screen. Go check them out. That would help us out too. But yeah, this has been number 284 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Kyle survives!